Hello, my name is Alex and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to describe a CLIL lesson plan. So, I will be focused on the context, the main content and language aims, some key competencies, the learning activities that will be developed, and the assessment process. In relation to the context, this is a biology lesson plan that goes for the first unit, which is Life on Earth. And the contents that are going to be developed are the main characteristics of living beings, the vital functions, and composition. This lesson plan will be carried out at Ciudad Jardín School, and it goes for the first grade of compulsory secondary education. And 20 CLIL students and the teacher will be involved. So this lesson will be carried out in two different bilingual sections. Each section will be 55 minutes. This way, the main content aim of these lessons are to learn the different characteristics that define a living being, to understand the three main vital functions of living beings, and to identify the main elements of the compositions of a living being. In terms of language, students are going to be able to acquire specific vocabulary about the contents, and they will be able to express oral and written knowledge. Also, students will be able to practice the simple present when describing and talking about living beings, and they will be able to build positive, negative statements and WH questions using the auxiliary do in the simple present. Also, a student will develop oral and written skills in order to describe the main characteristics, functions, and compositions of living beings. And finally, they will promote self-confidence by allowing students to express their ideas, giving examples and discussing among each other. In terms of key competencies, students are going to be able to develop linguistic communication skills by expressing their own ideas and point of view about the contents, and interacting in the English language when doing some activities in the classroom. Also, students will develop science and technology competencies by using text editors such as PowerPoint. In the same way, students will develop digital competencies by presenting and explaining some basic concepts and definitions of the contents. In addition, students will develop social and civic competencies by working in groups and doing some performance in the classroom. And finally, students will develop initiative sense and entrepreneurial spirit. For the development of this lesson plan, 4 different activities will be developed. The first activity, previous knowledge test. Activity 2, fill in the questionnaire. Activity 3, face-to-face activity. And activity 4, oral gallery presentation. Also, the first 2 activities will be carried out in the first bilingual section of this lesson plan, and the last 2 activities will be developed in the last part of the lesson. So, in this video, the first 2 activities will be described. This is the first learning activity that is proposed in this lesson plan. The previous knowledge test is an online activity that supplies all students' needs according to the context. This is an automatic previous knowledge test about the main functions and characteristics of living things. In terms of contents, the previous knowledge test aims to see students' background in relation to living beings, their main characteristics and functions. Also, it engages students into the use of technologies and automatic tests. In terms of language, This activity will be developed in order to enhance students into vocabulary learning. Also, to develop reading comprehension and writing skills when completing some exercises from the activity. So this is an individual activity, and this activity will be developed in 20 minutes. In relation to the materials and resources that need to be used, first of all, we need the previous knowledge test software, which is going to be shared by Dropbox. Also, we need a computer, we need internet access, and finally, a browser. For example, we can use Firefox or Chrome. For developing this activity, first of all, the teacher will share a folder of the previous knowledge text by Dropbox to students. Then, the students will download the folder and open it. After, the students will look for index.html file into the folder and run it. Then, a student will have a minute to have a look at the automatic test to clarify any questions before starting the test. Also, the teachers and students will read each part of the test to be completed. After completing each part of the test, the student must click on Enviar or Comprobar to see the marks. And finally, during the test, the teacher will be supporting the 3 parts of the test. So this is the first part of the test, in which students are going to look at the words in the table, and then they will write each word under the picture. They need to be carefully with capital letters. In the second part of the test, the students will match some definition. They will read the definitions below and they will choose the best word that matches each one. In the third part of the test, the students will complete an activity which is true-false questions activity. They will read the main characteristics of living being, and then they will mark true or false according to their knowledge. In terms of assessment, the test has been designed to provide an automatic mark and some feedback, and the assessment criteria that need to be considered will be the following. First of all, we're going to assess vocabulary management of the content. We're going to assess content knowledge, reading comprehension, and the accuracy in writing in the L2. This is the second learning activity that is proposed in this lesson plan. Filling the questionnaire is an online activity that engages students into the use of technology. This is a questionnaire designed to introduce the main characteristics and functions of living beings. So in this activity, students need to watch 2 different videos and complete some exercises. In terms of content, filling the questionnaire aims to develop students' knowledge about living things, their main characteristics, vital functions, and composition. In terms of language, this activity develops reading comprehension, writing, listening, and pronunciation. Also, it promotes the use of online resources and media, and encourages to practice the simple present. This is an individual activity, and this activity will be developed in 35 minutes. For the development of this activity, we need the following materials and resources. First of all, we need the online questionnaire. This questionnaire will be shared by the teacher. And the questionnaire includes 2 videos and exercises. Also, we need a computer and access to internet. And finally, a browser. It can be Firefox or Chrome. This way, to develop this activity, the teacher will share the link of the online questionnaire with the students. The teacher will also explain to students how the questionnaire works. And the teacher will make sure that everybody understands the different exercises in the questionnaire. Also, students will be asked to watch 2 different videos about the main characteristics and vital functions of living beings. Also, when the activity from the questionnaires are completed, students must submit the questionnaires. And finally, some questions will be discussed after completing the online questionnaire. For example, can you mention some living things? Can anybody tell me the main characteristics of living things? Can someone tell me the vital functions of living things? So this is the first part of the activity. In this activity, students are going to watch a video and then they will look at the definitions on the left and they will match them with the right action verbs. This is the second part of the activity. In this activity, students are going to watch another video and then they will answer these following questions. In terms of assessment of the activity, this activity has been designed on a platform that allows to see students' performance in the different activities. So the assessment criteria that need to be considered is the following. First of all, the teacher will assess vocabulary management of the content knowledge. The teacher will assess listening and reading comprehension, and also the accuracy in writing in the L2. So these are some references that have been used during the creation of this lesson plan. So this is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching it.